Hello.
Oh,
Hello, hello, everybody. So excited to be here.
hello, we're back. Surprise, surprise.
Hope that all of you had a really, really good Thanksgiving or
Yeah.
holiday for those of us who live in the United States and who practice Thanksgiving. If not, happy any other ordinary day. So, yeah, and so we are here again today. I just realized I need to record this.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Yeah, today is we like coming live on Thursdays. I don't know, that just seems to work out well for us. And so coming live today, we are, did you hit the record button already?
No, not yet.
Okay. Okay. So we're just excited to be here with everyone. We'll give everyone a few minutes to join us. It's always so fun and exciting to see everyone. We have surprises today. A little bit of excitement. Um,
So, for those who don't know us, or for those who are new to us, I am Michelle. Hello, hello. I'm a purpose activator. I'm a five elements dragon fire Reiki master and teacher. And that means I teach and certify people in five element dragon fire Reiki. And I am advanced Akashic Records practitioner as well. And here with me is Dawn.
Hi. Hello, everyone. It's great to see everybody again. My name is Dawn Hamilton. I am also a five element Dragonfire Reiki master. I also have a slew of other Reiki modalities that I work with. I am also an Akashic record reader slash healer, and a published author. I don't think I've brought that one up in a while.
Oh,
But
oh.
yeah, so we have a wealth of knowledge. We've both Michelle and I have been on a spiritual journey for a long, 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 long time, and we're just super happy to be here with everyone today. Today is I'll just say a little bit of an auspicious day. It's a portal day. Today is 12/12, and it's one of the last portal day. It is the last, well, not technically because we still have 12s, but it's just a really big portal day, and it's in regards to aligning yourself with your soul purpose. And so it's in aligning yourself in a way that sets you up for success for 2025. And so that blends in well with the series that Michelle and I are finishing up today, talking about the clairs.
Yeah, and developing your clairs. So if you missed it, we had two other series,
Mhm.
Fireside Chats, where we talked about the different clairs. We talked about the four big clairs, clairvoyance, claircognizance, clairsentience, what's the last one that I'm missing?
Clairaudience.
Clairaudience, there we go. Yeah, so the four main ones. So today we're going to talk about the two. I guess they're I don't want to say little ones, but they're the two clairs that people often forget or kind of like don't
The
even
lesser
talk about.
known. Yeah, they're
The
the lesser
lesser
known
known
superstars.
clairs.
We think of them as the supporting cast, right?
Yeah, but they're so strong and equally strong as well. And so those are the two clairs that we're going to talk about today. And I hope that we have a little time to also have a little healing because it's what Don said. This is a portal. We love portal
Yeah.
days because there's so much energy with portals. So yeah.
Awesome. So today we're going to talk about two of our clairs, clairgustance and clairsalience. So let's talk about clairgustance first, because that one has to do with taste.
Hmm.
And so what can happen when you're working with your clairs is to kind of help with messages that you're receiving, experiences that you've had, different things can trigger in your body. And I'm very clair um clairsalient. That's not the right word. I'm forgetting all my clairs now. But I feel things very deeply in my body. And so sometimes when I'm feeling things, I will have a taste that appears and it helps to trigger. It's always when it happens, I immediately know to pay attention to it when I get a taste. And sometimes it's a specific flavor. Like I'm like, oh, I'm tasting a steak right now. And so I'll be like, well, that's interesting. I'm tasting this steak right now. And either myself or my client will have a known experience with that. And it's part of the experience that we're bringing into the session because there's something profound that has happened
Yeah.
that wants to come in. And I don't know, Michelle, have you had experiences with it too?
No, not actually, but I know the same way. Like for me, I work a lot with symbols. And
Mm,
I'm sure a lot of people have that experience as well. So for instance, so one of the things, when you're thinking like the taste of steak, right? For instance, the taste of steak evokes certain memories. And the
mhm,
taste of steak means something, when we work with all the symbols, like, for instance, if I see a rose, like the rose means
mm,
something. I lean into the energy and the feeling and memories of the rose. The rose is a message for me, right? The same thing with a steak. So if I don't usually get that, but I may see a steak, right? So for people where, you can taste the juiciness of the steak, it may evoke, as what Dawn said, a certain memory for you, or it could be for the client. You can always say, I'm tasting, steak, or sometimes steak evokes blood, right? The blood of like mercury, right? Which is another taste. And you may feel like, oh, this means something. And so, really, again, as we're developing our clairs, I would really encourage you, right? Keeping a journal is really important. When I first
oh,
started out, I
yeah.
kept a journal because you write, what does these things mean to you? Because that's how spirit or source is communicating to you. And so if
Mhm,
you have the memory or like suddenly you have a taste of like wine or something like that, lean into that and ask yourself like, why am I tasting that? What emotions coming up for me? What memories coming up for
mhm.
me? What messages? Do you hear anything that's coming up for you? Do you know in inner knowing that you know what this means? So again, this is another scent that a way that we receive messages.
Yeah, and so because Clairgustance doesn't show up all the time, when it does trigger, it's something to pay attention to. And even if it's just for a fleeting second, you're like, well, that's really weird. I'm tasting jelly beans right now. What does
Yeah,
that mean? Right? And you're just like, okay, but but that's it allows you, and the beauty of these lesser known clairs is that they they teach you how to deepen into trust and trusting your clairs. And that is so it's really a profound way to dive in deeper. So yeah, very
yeah.
exciting.
Yeah, I love for those who are watching this or even watching the replay, if you're watching this live or watching the replay, yeah, put in a comment, right? Has this like happened to you? Have you tasted something, even if it's a couple of times? And how have you leaned into it, right? What messages did I give you?
Yeah,
That's one of the ways. So to develop any of your clairs, I always said, keep a journal, write
yeah,
it down, and yeah, and don't second guess yourself because sometimes you just may be walking on the street and then again that taste you feel that taste
yeah.
so also this may happen when you're meditating. That's also another way like source or spirit is talking to you. And so when you're meditating and you feel maybe the taste of wine again, I don't know why wine or chocolate, what does that mean? What is it evoking?
Yeah, what are they trying to tell me? What are they allowing me to connect with in a new and different way? Um, that's so Clairgustance is because that one's taste. There's another Clair that ties really well with it, another lesser known one, and that's the clairalience, which is the smell.
Mm,
And so I have had a couple of different times where I've smelt perfume. I have smelled cigarette smoke or cigar smoke is another one. And they typically will help me to identify people who are stepping forward when I'm doing a reading, because I'm like, well, I smell this really profound rose perfume like thing. Or I like my grandpa, he was always a big caramel taste with a cigar smell, because that's how I remember him from my childhood. And so when he shows up, that's what I get. And I'm like, oh, grandpa's here.
Yeah, I love that you say that because that's another way to develop, right? That Claire
Hmm.
is
Hmm.
to assign the meanings to certain tastes or certain smell. So for you, you're like, cigarette, grandpa. And then
Yep.
you know in a reading or when you're doing meditation or for yourself, like, what does grandpa means? Is it
Yeah.
comfort? Is it protection? Is it security? But your meaning of grandpa is unique to you. My meaning of grandpa is unique to me. And so that's the other thing. And as I always tell our students, because we teach Reiki, always trust, the meaning that comes to you. And so that's why
Hmm.
assign meaning to whatever smell, whatever sight, whatever, because that's how spirit communicates with you through the symbol. But I love that you mentioned that it usually comes through like for your clients, because that's another
Yeah.
thing. Like I think when people passed over, sometimes they come to us with like the scent that they're wearing, right?
Oh
So
yeah, absolutely.
and it
Absolutely. It's a
and
big
it
trigger for us emotionally, right?
for most people, yeah.
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 Yeah. And
It's one of the things because and people who are into mediumship will probably love this, right? Or as you're developing your psychic abilities, more opening yourself intuitively, you may have people or in a reading or even for yourself, loved ones that come visit you. And the loved ones are like your ancestors or your family member passed on. Uh, and one of the ways they show up so strongly is scent, the perfume they're
yeah.
wearing, and I remember actually when my grandmother passed, she had baby powder. So I can't smell. I don't smell. So I cannot smell. Um, but my mom talked about this all the time. So my grandma has this baby powder smell that and that was her last few days when my mom was taking care of her, she was using baby powder on my grandmother, and when my grandmother passed, she came back to show my mother she was still around for
Hmm.
like a couple of days with the same
Oh,
smell. And my mom said the first day was very strong, and then slowly over time the smell just kind of like you know lessened.
it dissipated a little bit.
Yes,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
no one in my family uses baby powder. And she was home when she smelled that. So my mama said that other people, and she said that sometimes she smells like sweat, like just a smell of sweat pass by, other types of perfume. So a lot of people who are opening up, like you may smell like, what scent is that?
Yeah,
You
and
get what
that's
I
the
mean?
thing is don't dismiss it though, because it's so easy to overlook, because when you're learning how to move and understand and interpret your clairs, it's really easy to dismiss it and you're like, oh, something just happened. I'm not going to worry about it. But getting curious about it and asking questions about it and allowing yourself to just get a little bit deeper, go a little bit deeper, it really adds another layer of specialness to
Yeah.
what it is that you're doing.
One of the things to practice, and this is more of like if you're practicing and developing your clairs, because um, these two clairs are not often like people don't often talk about it. But one of the things you can do is to develop these clairs through activities, right? So, um, if you're trying to develop your sense, smell, right? You can smell like essential oils are really good. And
Hmm.
just don't even read the label of the essential oil, just smell it and think and then assign meaning. So vanilla, what does vanilla smell like? What meaning does it convey? So vanilla, if you smell, you might like, oh, this is comfort. This feels really good, or you may smell something that is citrus, right? And you'd be like, oh, this is like freshness, crisp. And then you start identifying it. And then another thing with food that you can do, and I like this, right? Because this is always fun, is to feel into the energy of the taste. So if you drink wine, a red wine, feel into just let it like be in your mouth for a little bit. Feel into the energy of it. And then all the other clairs might activate. You can ask yourself, what does this mean to me? Or what images is coming through, right? In another way is just ask your guides. If I don't understand something, immediately I ask my guides. Like I keep tasting like the taste of steak, right?
Yeah.
What does it mean? I ask my guides for help. But that's one of the way to kind of develop, because some people during like either during a meditation or giving a client session, that might come through for you. A
Hmm.
certain smell, a certain taste.
Yeah, I've been working on people before and I'll hit a specific spot, typically in the throat area, and I can feel a flush release from my teeth, but then I'll get that metal taste in my mouth. And I'm like, oh, I'm tasting metal. And then I was like, are you stressed out about something?
Mm,
Because that's what it's come to represent for me. When I get that metal taste, it's like there's a buildup um, of of energy that just needs to be released. And so it really just helps me to help the client focus on where it is that they're going and how to better help them and how to serve them in the moment. So, but that's one of the things that shows up a little bit more frequently for me.
yeah. Yeah. I can't smell, so it doesn't come. It doesn't activate for me at all. Neither does taste actually. So I think it's really interesting that
Mm,
we have people in the group who are saying that smell comes through for them, taste comes through for them. So I would really
yes.
love for those, watching it live or watching the replay to write in the comment section, right? Does this come through for you in a
Mm.
meditation or in a client session if you do any of that, and especially I think scent was really
Senses, yeah,
associated with loved ones. I
yeah.
I I
I get
feel,
a
yeah.
lot of floral scents that come in, and it's not always easy to identify the scent that comes in. Because I had the smell of violets one time, and I was like, violets? Who smells violets, right? And I was just, it was, and then they gave me the color purple after that, and I was like, oh, they
Yeah.
want me to say violet, violet, violet. And as soon as I did, it was very profound for the client. So I was like, oh, they worked really hard to get me there.
Yeah, and or like if you feel that again, right, is when you utilize all your clairs, but some of
Yeah,
our clairs are stronger. And so if you can smell like you're like, sunflower, then
yeah.
immediately that sunflower may mean something else. Does it mean hope and optimism? Does it mean
Mhm.
courage? Does it mean, something else for you? Or it could even be for the client. And so that's the other thing. It's like I know there are a lot of people who are really interested in developing the clairs, and some of us, a lot of us, are feeling called to kind of step up, step into our power, step into our gifts, and become energy worker or psychics,
Mhm.
oracles, priestesses, whatever you feel called to. And that is one of the things, when you have clients or even you're helping your friends or loved ones, don't be don't be afraid to just say, does sunflower mean anything to you? Because that's what I'm getting. And if they're like, yeah, it does, um, they're perfect, right? And just trust it because you'd be surprised at how accurate all these messages are coming.
Especially when you start to string them together.
Yeah, yes,
And
when you
it's
string them
about,
together,
yeah,
100%.
because again, our body is a channel. Our body is our antenna to receive the information, and it comes in so many different ways.
Mhm.
And trying to identify how it comes in is is really the hardest part, because it's we're that dial that's kind of tuning in on that radio station. Okay, what's coming in, where's it at was, and so um the guides, guardians, masters, teachers, loved ones, however you receive your information, they work with us in a way, they meet us where we're at to help us understand and continue to grow our confidence. So they're not going to give us something that doesn't make any sense, because it will eventually make sense when you allow yourself to get curious about it and talk to your clients and be like, look, this is what's coming in, or journal about it if you're doing it for yourself. Like Michelle was saying, it's so important to work on those indicators, to kind of help build a little bit um, of of understanding from a different perspective. That's really
Yeah.
what it's all about.
Yeah.
So.
So do you have a Don, do you have any practices or something that, like, or any tips or guidance on how to kind of help develop in clairs? I know you talked about using oracle cards or playing
Yeah.
cards. Yeah.
Playing
Do you
cards.
want to
Yeah, I
share?
did. I
Yes.
did. And of course I forgot to bring them tonight, so I feel really dumb. But I was so focused on getting getting into space that I literally forgot my cards. But one of the things that I like to do is to grab a deck of cards, a regular playing cards, and then I go through, and you can look at it from multiple levels. You can just randomly pick a card, and say, is it red or black? Red or black? Red or black? Red or black? And so you just feel into it for a moment. Is it red? Is it black? How does it feel in my body? What is it? What am I getting here? The next thing you can do to kind of up your game a little bit, is to look at it and what suit is it? Well, I understand if it's red or black, but is it a heart? Is it a diamond? Is it a club? Is it a spade? And you can continue to deepen your practice that way. And then if you're feeling really courageous, you can just guess the card. Okay, I have a queen of hearts here.
Yeah.
And then flip it over and see what you really get. But again, it's have fun with it and allow yourself to just deepen into it. I would suggest starting with the color first and then working into the suit. Don't try to do all 52. You're just going to burn yourself out. Pick randomly a couple of cards and just do it periodically throughout the day. But it allows you to stop, pause, breathe, because breathing is so important. Something that we don't do enough of it. A full deep breath into your entire body. Um, and then at that point in time, once you've centered yourself, then try to guess. And
Yeah.
yeah, so it's
I
really fun.
I love that. That's really good. I like to use oracle oracle cards. When I first started, I would just pull random, shuffle, 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 and this is really easy. Shuffle, 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 pull one card. You pull one card, it starts your day, and then just read it, and you're done, right? And I like to set an intention. It could be, what message. It could be what is a message for me today, and
Hmm.
then just pull the card, and then when you are used to doing that, second stage is you start pulling the card. You don't read. You don't read the description, that comes with, right? You don't read this. You ask, you can read the description here, but feel into it. What does it say? And then the third step, right? When you get more confident, you don't even need to read the description anymore. So one of the things that you can do to bring all your senses together, and I pulled this card, like right away, I felt the energy of the card. I didn't read it. I looked at it and I felt into the energy. And one of the things you can do is when you hold it, if you don't even read it, just feel into the energy. Again, that's one of my stronger clair, so that's why it comes in. Um, but one of the things you can develop is feel into, the energy, feel into the inner knowing, right? Is there something you can ask right away? What, why did I pull this card? What is the message for me from this card? And then let your inner knowing come in. Hear, see if you can hear anything. And then you can even just like you hold onto this card. And if you want to smell the card, see if there's any scent that's coming through, right? Or you can say, what does this card taste like? And it's really weird, but if you feel into that and you can do it for each of the clairs, right? Or you
Hmm.
can just do one clair each day. But so what you're
Yeah.
really doing, yeah, it's not even like reading this. So you're just really like, what does this card smell like? What scent, the dominant scent that's coming? Is it lavender? Is it
Yeah.
whatever, right?
Whatever it is that come through.
Yeah, is it
Yeah, there's because there's so much. And what I was getting while you were talking, Michelle, so thank you for saying all that, was different locations. Um, when you find yourself in a place in nature, in your meditations or you're working with a client and you're in a place in nature, take a take a pause and what does this smell like? What does the air taste like? Because it'll help identify where you're at because the beach feels different than the mountains, right?
yeah,
And so the beach, you can smell the ocean. The mountains, you can smell the you can smell nature in a completely different way. And I think you guys might be being triggered with that as I'm saying it because it feels like that might be triggering for a couple people in regards to, oh yeah, I do. I smell it. I smell it. So yeah, it's
yeah,
just it's there the clairs are so amazing in using these to help us enhance and deepen into our craft is just so important.
yeah.
So yeah,
So yeah, play with the playing cards. If that's
yeah,
really what calls you, play the oracle cards if that's really what calls you, or just go out in nature and play with
yeah,
the elements if that's
yeah,
what's calling to you, right? And just
yeah,
notice what's coming up for you. Because yeah, that's one of the fun things that I love about, oracle cards instead of tarot is the pictures. And I just lean into this. What is this card telling me? And so every time I can pull this card every day, but it will mean something completely different for the collective based on my intention, but also based on the energy of what I'm being drawn to. And so that's something, I encourage you to step into that and play into that, right?
yes, absolutely, absolutely.
So
So
I
much
feel
fun. Yay!
Yeah. So we're good on time. It's 12:12 portal, and we love portals.
Yeah.
And so I know Dawn talked about wanting to do a mini healing. And
Yeah,
so,
just a quick healing. I was as I was preparing for our fireside chat tonight, the dragons came in and I was just like, ooh, because they were all different colors and I was like, oh, okay, who who's here? And I heard that they were our soul dragons. And I was very excited about that because I was like, ooh, our soul dragons. Is that who
yeah,
came in?
no, I was shuffling the card. I just pulled the
Uh,
card. I felt really drawn to pull the card, and it's the Golden Solar Dragon.
oh,
It's about
nice.
let your DNA be reprogrammed and light codes activated. It's about being an inspired
Yeah.
um, leader, but again, really drawn to the sun. Is sun energy,
Yeah.
masculine power. So it's solar, it's light, it's masculine power. Light isn't like the brightness of the
Hmm.
light, feels very much as action energy. It's about action
Yeah.
energy. And it's interesting because what I'm being told is Christmas. So maybe the action energy is like we're all going to go shopping for Christmas, or we're all going traveling for Christmas or something like that, right? Because the word they use is Christmas. And then the message is to recharge during Christmas. So the solar dragon is coming in to help us recharge our core, or they're using the word batteries, our batteries during Christmas time or a time of rest, whatever that means. The reason they say Christmas is because we are unplugging from our
Yeah.
normal routine. It's like a different routine, right? And that can be energizing. It can be energizing for some, relaxing for others, stressful for others,
And
um,
depleting for others. Yeah.
depleting. So that's why they're like recharging your
Yeah.
batteries. So that's the energy I got from this card, the Golden Solar Dragon. Very nice.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
All right.
Um, okay, so we're just going to do a quick, we're going to see where this goes. I have an idea of where we're headed with this, but I'm going to invite everyone to close your eyes and take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, sense, feel, or imagine the stresses of the day gently rolling off your body. And as you continue to breathe, On your exhale, we're going to go ahead and drop that grounding cord and let it travel all the way down, 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 down through the many, many layers of Mother Earth. In the center of the earth, there is a beautiful iridescent golden orb of energy. With reverence, gratitude, grace, we're going to ask Mother Earth to supply us with the highest and best energies needed for the holiday season. Go ahead and plug your cord in. And as you inhale, begin to pull those energies up through your cord, up, up, up. Allow it to enter your feet, to the knees, to the hips, up your torso and back, to your shoulders, down your arms, up through the throat, to the top of your head, where it exits the crown chakra and showers down around you to your feet, creating this beautiful energy bubble. Just breathe in this energy for a moment. Archangel Metatron is here along with a company of soul dragons. And they're here to assist us today to deepen into our clairs, to deepen into soul purpose. You can sense, feel, or imagine a timeline in front of you. And the dragons are swirling around your timeline, identifying places, events, things that can be removed to help you move forward on your path. As those bumps come up in your timeline, you can sense, feel, or imagine the release starting to take place. As the dragons are here to assist, and Archangel Metatron steps forward. And he's holding his Metatron cube above your head and showering energy down to help accordion the timeline, to shorten it. So we're releasing anything that is less than best, that's been hanging on, old thought patterns, old injustices, dense emotions that no longer serve. And the energy's coming in from Metatron's cube. Divine peace, divine light, divine joy, divine love, divine harmony, divine discernment, divine wonder, and anything else that they see that's highest and best for you. Beautiful. And a beautiful shower of these brilliant crystal, like pixie dust, is being dropped into your auric field. To help raise your vibration. And it's the joy and wonderment that's coming in again. And we're focusing on the heart for just a few moments. We're going to allow it to expand, expand, and continue to expand again 3 times, just like the Grinch, but just way deeper. Open, open, open. I can see this happening in multiple timelines. Opening, opening, opening. And the brilliant colors are coming in: gold, red, green, blue, violet. Go ahead and place your hands over your heart. We'll thank the dragons, Archangel Metatron, the guides and guardians. Take a nice deep breath in. And on the exhale, start to wiggle your fingers and toes. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes.
Thank you, Don. Um, Saint Germain's violet flame came in,
Beautiful.
and when I started activating the energy, Saint Germain's violet flame came here to transmute, was using this flame to transmute for everybody. And what I thought was really beautiful is the violet flame went on top of the crown, and the flame was big. It was like burning. And then the flame set there. And so when you were all receiving this healing from Dawn, just know that the violet flame went. Whether you're conscious or unconscious of it, it doesn't matter. But if you are seeing or sensing a lot of purple or violet, or transmutation energy, know that it is not a coincidence. The violet flame now, the word they're using is blessed. So the violet flame now sits on everyone's crown chakra and it's burning and it's just there anchored in. That is to help the clear connection, the crown, with source energy. So this helps with your channeling ability. It helps with your journaling ability as well. And so we have someone who said, I see the violet flame. So yeah, so if you did notice a violet flame, it wasn't a coincidence. I just wanted to share that. And it, again, what they're saying is it burns up um, any density, any negativity, anything that is disrupting your connection to be a clear channel. That was what the flame was there. And everyone received that blessing
Yeah, I heard
on that violet flame.
distortions. I heard that it's removing
Distortions.
distortions.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It was something that wasn't clear, was what it
Yeah.
was. It was like, what is this clear? Not clear. But thank you. That so it forms a clearer channel. So thank you for that. Be clear, cancel, delete the distortion in the field
There we go.
for you. There we go. With that blessing, Saint Germain's violet flame, that is not just a blessing, it's also a protection, protecting you as well.
Yay. Well,
Yay.
yeah, happy holidays, everyone.
Yeah, happy holidays and thank you so much for being here with us. Yeah, we love to do more. Maybe if we have time and we're ambitious to squeeze another one in or not, we will see you in the new year. But definitely we have more fun stuff coming up in the new year. Yeah, thank you so much, everyone.
Happy holidays, everyone. Thank you.